Are these AI-generated WWE gimmicks any good? Let's talk about it. All right, what's up, everybody? We are back at it with another AI-generated video, and for you, we have AI-generated WWE gimmicks. We're going to be asking Dylan if WWE should or should not use these. This is the second one that we have done. If you want to check out the first one, you can go ahead and click the link in the description. So, without further ado, let's dive into this first one. All right, first up, Dylan, we have Brickhouse Bronx. Brickhouse Bronx is a gritty, street-smart brawler from the Bronx who treats every match like a back alley fight. Chains, hooded vest, and raw intensity. Dylan, is Brickhouse Bronx a gimmick that WWE should or should not use?
Sonny, what do you think?
Smart
Okay.
word, Sonny.
Yes, so I'm gonna pass on Brickhouse Bronx.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit too basic, and I think we've had like variations of this character, the New York Brawler. I think we were talking about Taz a little bit earlier before we started recording. I think Taz is probably the best iteration of this sort of gimmick. So
Kind of like Mike Santana.
yeah, a little bit of Mike Santana. Can't get. I don't think you can get much better than sort of the archetypes that we've got that are sort of those Bronx brawler type of dudes. So I'm gonna pass on Brickhouse Bronx.
All right, so AI is 0 for 1. Let's move on to this next one because we have Carnage Cupid. Carnage Cupid is a dark twist on the love-struck archer myth. Shoots heart-shaped arrows before matches, but fights like a possessed maniac. Pink and black gear, eerie charisma. Dylan, do we need Carnage Cupid?
So, say his getup, his gear, a little bit too on the nose. I don't think it is. We don't necessarily need him out there in pink wings with a legit heart-shaped arrows and stuff. But the idea of Carnage Cupid maybe is a little bit of a comedy character. Maybe like I could see a guy like Danhausen doing something fun with something like that, right? So we're gonna go with Carnage Cupid.
Okay.
I think it could easily be scrapped if it's unsuccessful.
Yeah.
But we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. I think with the right guy, it could work.
Put a point on the board for AI. Let's move on to this next one because we have Cosmic Prophit. Cosmic Prophit is a mysterious space cult leader who speaks in riddles and predicts match outcomes with eerie accuracy. Robes, glowing eyes, and a celestial staff. Dylan, should WWE use the Cosmic Prophit gimmick?
I like the Cosmic Prophet. I'm gonna go with yeah. Let's roll with the Cosmic Prophet.
Right.
I think there's a lot of
Who
fun
doesn't love a
potential
space
there
cult
with that.
gimmick?
I think. So me personally, I think some stuff gets a little bit too on the nose. I don't think we need him to be straight up like Star Wars cosmic universe guy. But I really like the idea of it. Sucker for a good cult leader gimmick.
Sure.
And especially when it is done right. And yeah, I actually, since I've started talking, this get up kind of thing that he's wrestling in has grown on me. If he was to wrestle in something like, I'm a sort of like similar to like Shinsuke with like the sleeveless kind of V sort of thing. I could see the sparkles as like the galaxy type of vibe. I can get behind that. Maybe a guy like Elias or now Elijah in TNA leading the pack for something like that.
All right, AI 2 for 3, doing pretty good right off the bat. Let's move on to this next one. We have Dr. Trauma. Dylan, Dr. Trauma is a twisted former surgeon who sees wrestling as quote unquote corrective treatment. wrestles in a blood-splattered lab coat and surgical mask. Do we need Dr. Trauma on WWE television?
I think we'll pass on Dr. Trauma for now. I
Okay.
think Dr. Trauma might have his place on some indie shows.
Okay.
I think Dr. Trauma could be a little bit entertaining here and there, especially maybe in some deathmatch scenarios. But WWE weekly programming, don't see how much compelling story we're going to get out of Dr. Trauma. So, yeah, I'll pass. Pass on Dr. Trauma.
All right. 2 for 4. Let's move on to this next one. Because we have Glory Gale. Glory Gale is a storm-chasing daredevil turned wrestler, complete with windbreaker gear, lightning-themed face paint, and wild aerial moves. Dylan, do we need Glory Gale?
Nah, man, we don't need Glory Gale because we had the Hurricane, man. Nothing's topping the Hurricane. This is just a straight up Hurricane ripoff.
Yeah.
We don't need Glory Gale. I do think it is funny they're like with the windbreaker since he's like the storm guy.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. And I think I like this image the best.
Okay.
Like, out of all the I think if a wrestler was to show up in this gear, that would kind of look cool. Ultimate Warrior face paint is a little unnecessary, but yeah, I can get behind the gear at least. But yeah, I think we'll pass on Glory Gale because all we're gonna think about is the Hurricane.
Yeah, that's true. All right, 2 for 5. Let's move on because we have the Grim Griddle. The Grim Griddle is a possessed short order cook who believes he's serving justice hot off the skillet. Think horror comedy. He talks about quote-unquote flipping his opponents like pancakes and comes to the ring with a blood-stained apron and a spatula. Dylan, is the Grim Griddle good? Do we need that?
I don't know. See, the thing is, it's like out of because it did say it would be a comedy character.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need the Grim Griddle.
Okay, I think the Grim Griddle's kind of compelling.
I think he's got some definitely more compelling than Dr. Trauma. Like, this is much more on the line. I would consider this one, but I'm gonna stay away from the Grim Griddle for now.
Okay.
The blood-soaked attire isn't really up my alley. It just, to me, that screams too on the nose, too campy, too.
Okay.
So we'll see. But
All right. 2 for 6. Let's move on to this next one. We have Lady Lead, Dylan. Lady Lead is a no-nonsense industrial welder turned powerhouse wrestler covered in steel plating, welding goggles, and heavy strikes. Do we need Lady Lead?
I think we do, actually. I think I really like this. Just having it would have to be done by the correct person, right? Because done incorrectly, right? Then you get Lacey Evans, right?
Yeah.
which was Lacey Evans was no fun for anybody.
No.
But if we have it as a similar Rosie the Riveter type of gimmick done right, I think Lady Lead is got some potential.
All right. AI 3 for 6.
Steel City.
Let's move on to the next one. We have the Silicone Saint. The Silicone Saint is a tech-obsessed genius who believes wrestling is just advanced programming of the human body. Wears a futuristic bodysuit with glowing circuits. Dylan, do we need the Silicone Saint?
I hate the name. The Silicone Saint sucks. That's a terrible name. The gimmick actually has some potential behind it, I think.
Okay.
I don't know how many stories you could tell with the Silicone Saint, right? Like, I don't know
That's a
how
one-hit
much we
wonder.
could do. But Yeah, let's rock with the Silicone Saint for a little
Okay.
bit. I think we could um, throw him in like the lower mid card because you can either have him as an endearing baby face who is like a nerdy guy who finally works up and uses his smarts to get the win, or you can have him as like a douchey bro tech guy
Tech
who's
bro.
like, yeah, who's like thinks he's super smart, and then you can just have him lose all the time. So I think there's some potential there with some lower card entertainment, but the name, like the name behind the gimmick, would definitely going to change the Silicone Saint.
All right. What is that? 4 for 8, I believe. I will also say before we get to these last two, we did get another mime gimmick that I decided to take out. So we had a mime gimmick in the previous one that we did. So it's funny that
AI loves the mime gimmicks,
and so did we. We like the mime gimmick.
yeah.
So let's move on to this next one, Dylan. Because
I will say, thus
it.
far, I do think ChatGPT has done a better job than Google Gemini.
Agreed. Again, if you want to watch that other one, that will be the first link in the description. I think they did a better job with the images too.
Agreed. Yes, agreed.
So let's move on to this next one, Dylan. Potentially my favorite one. Because we have the Cornfield Reaper. The Cornfield Reaper, Dylan, is a horror-style gimmick inspired by scarecrows and Midwestern legends. Straw-covered jacket, stitched mask, and a sickle prop. Dylan, do we need the Cornfield Reaper as a gimmick in WWE?
Let's rock with the Cornfield Reaper.
Yeah.
I like that. That mask is like pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I think, yeah, like someone wrestling in that would be like a good mask for them to wrestle in. That would be like pretty terrifying.
Sure.
Yeah, I can get behind the Cornfield Reaper. Like I said, as many times in this video, little too on the nose. Maybe we don't need this. Maybe we don't need all that much straw hanging out, and the sickle is funny, but is it necessary? That's to be determined. But I'm gonna rock with the Cornfield Reapers.
All right.
I'd say this is their best image, though.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I just really like that mask. Like if a horror character was to wrestle in that mask, it would be pretty cool and terrifying.
Yeah. And I will say too, I feel like this is something that WWE is kind of missing these days. Is this like crazy like gimmicks like this? Because like back in our day, you had like the Undertaker and like all that good stuff. And like yes, it's good to have wrestlers who are kind of just wrestlers, but we need more insane gimmicks like this.
Yeah.
All right. We are 5 for 9, I believe. Let's see if we can get this last one. We have Turbo Tyler. God. Turbo Tyler is a neon-suited 1980s-inspired speedster who's all flash and high velocity. Think roller rinks, synthwave, and spinning kicks. Dylan, do we need Turbo Tyler as a gimmick in WWE?
I don't think so. I don't think we need Turbo Tyler.
All right.
I do. It's fun. It's fun. I think
Sure.
there's room, obviously, for the '80s gimmick. I don't think it's, but
Merch would crush.
Merch would definitely crush. I could see a guy like Rick Boogs really from back in the day crushing this gimmick. Shout out to my older brother who loved Rick Boogs.
Rick Boogs' biggest fan.
But yeah, I think we'll stay off of Turbo Tyler for now.
All right, so 5 for 10, not too bad. I thought that was pretty good. I don't remember off the top of my head how many we approved from the last one that we did, but we'll have to go back and.
I definitely liked the ones that I approved better than the ones I approved on the last one. There might have been one or two that we liked a lot from the last one, but I think they did better. They definitely did better on the pictures with this.
Agreed. All right, so you guys let us know in the comments which one of these gimmicks was your favorite and which one do you think that we should see in WWE. Make sure to smash that subscribe button so you never miss an upload. And with that being said, we'll catch you in the next video.